Hello there, and jolly good Wednesday morning to you. Thank you plenty for staying with us on the paper review segment of our daily broadcast here at Niger Live TV. Let's start you off this morning with the Nation paper. By the way, my name is Henry Ahamuefula, and the lead story on the Nation paper this morning is around the former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, who says he didn't buy form, that's the ADC form, to be Atiku's running mate. And this is, as he also says, that zoning is very necessary, and also for the NDC, Obi faces Egu-led NDC screening panel. Now, Amechi's comment sounds pretty familiar, much like what Wike said in 2023 when he said he wasn't willing to be Atiku's running mate. But at some point, there are those who also were saying that he intended to, he got a problem with the fact that Atiku did not later pick him for his running mate and then went with the core instead. This is maybe different, yeah, but Amechi is saying that, well, he's not picking the form to be Atiku's running mate. He's what we know. Well, away from that, and specifically above the nameplate of the Nation paper, there's a story there that's of interest. It's Kekemeke, Salusi, others pick APC Senate tickets. That's the story you're getting there. And also, Abdul Razak endorses Seriki as successor. He also they say the choice is also jolting other aspirants. EFCC operatives arrest fugitive ex-minister Maman in Kaduna. This is someone who's picked up a governorship form for that particular state, and ex-power minister. He's been arrested by the EFCC, and there are photos of him making the rounds on social media with him holding, well, that EFCC stuff that shows that he's been arrested. Well, page 3 of the Nation paper brings you an interesting story around Dangote refinery, jetties, tank, farm orders back Dangote refinery. You want to check that out when you get a copy of the Nation paper this morning. Away from that, killed ISIS terrorists, now 175, says defense headquarters. And a political story on page 5 of the Nation, APC members throng wards to elect candidates for houses of assembly. That's something that goes down tomorrow. Alrighty, let's check out the leadership paper real quick. Turaki-led PDP clears Jonathan for 2027 contest is one story you find interesting there. Well, Gowon is the big story on the leadership paper. Yakubu Gowon. I tried to save Aaron C's life during July 29, 1966 coup. That's Gowon. How did he try to save Aaron C's life? That's Major General Agiu Aaron-C, who also lost his life in very, very mysterious and heinous circumstances. But, well, Gowon is giving a revelation into this. Yesterday, he released his memoir. And so, this is one of the catchy statements there where he's saying that he's trying to save Aaron-C's life. Now, you want to find out how exactly he tried to do that. Perhaps you should check out the leadership paper. Better still, getting a copy of the memoir would also serve to allow you also read that thing there. Refinery listing will democratize Africa's industrial prosperity, says Dan Gote. And APC Senate primaries, aggrieved aspirants reject results in state. They told Tinubu I wanted to kill him. That's coming from the Vice President Shetima. He had some time ago given President Tinubu some clothing, and well, he's also revealing now that people had to tell the president that he should stop wearing those clothing because he had poisoned them. Shetima had poisoned them. So, well, that's speaking of there. An interesting photo rather on the leadership paper. It says the former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan alongside the Vice President Kashim Shetima, and yeah, go on, of course. And away from that, to the New Telegraph paper 2027, how senators who defected to APC for refuge lost return ticket at primaries as outcome. They say outcome is a mix of upsets, consensus victories and mass disqualifications, and 37 senators who defected from PDP, at least 41 other aspirants, are bad. And group protest alleged exclusion of Christians in Niger. Alrighty, on the page 2 of New Telegraph paper, Senator Carlo is thanking the President Tinubu and his constituents after I clinch the APC primaries victory. That's Abia North right there. Why RFI was relocated to DSS custody, prosecution gives an insight into that. And federal government supports structural gaps in VAT. And also another story that is of interest on the New Telegraph paper is on Ebola. And they say US stops visa services for 3 African nations as NCAA issues alert, directs enhanced surveillance at airports, and death toll of Ebola, of course, rises to 13 in DR Congo. I would wonder exactly why DR Congo continues having these recurring Ebola outbreaks, one after the other. It seems as though somehow at some point they fix it and they contain it. But after a while you also hear of another Ebola outbreak, and in most cases a different strand, like this particular one now. They say it doesn't even have a vaccine for it. Well, hopefully that these things are contained. Defense headquarters also is making it to the New Telegraph paper with the report on terrorists. They say no terrorist base in Southwest, and also says 175 terrorists killed in Nigeria-US ISIS strikes. Quickly, I'll leave that paper and touch on the Nigerian Tribune. That's focusing on defense headquarters saying there is no terrorist base in Southwest. This is as they intensify search for abducted pupils in Oyo, and also the Inspector General of Police deploys more detectives in community. Traditional rulers in Ogumosho land demand a military base, and also 6 suspects are in police net. That's off the story. Atiku is demanding rescue of the victims. LLC and Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria have all condemned the attacks. Turaki-led PDP declares Jonathan sole presidential candidate, grants him screening waiver. That's one of the stories, big stories I like to think, that's contained on the Nigerian Tribune paper this morning. NCAA issues Ebola alert, directs enhanced surveillance at airports. On health, learning languages may keep the brain young. A study reveals that you just might want to hop on that particular language that you've been wanting to learn for a while and see how you could play around it. They say it helps to keep your brain young. And would you look at that? Who doesn't want to remain young? Especially to think active and be much more active in your thought process. Away from the paper to the Daily Independent, rising food prices spark calls for AG Tech Logistics. Investment is the lead story there. And Gowon's life rebukes divisive narratives, stereotypes in Nigeria, says President Tinubu, likely also at the memo event yesterday. Nigeria bleeding under government of post-tragedy, press statement. That's what Atiku says. It's a post-tragedy press statement government. That's what he says. Away from that, EFCC arrests fleeing convicted ex-power minister Maman. Pantami withdraws from APC Guba race in Gombe, cites violation of Electoral Act. Page 6 has details of the story. PDP grants and Jonathan Weaver screening tour of Guba aspirants also is contained on that paper. And Minister hails tax ombud office as key reform on that Tinubu administration. That revelation from Shetima on people telling the president that he planned to kill him is also on the paper this morning. And away from that, let's touch on the These Day paper, which reports on Rotimi Amechi saying he didn't purchase the ADC form to be vice president to anybody. And on the sports, 22-year wait is over. The jinx is finally broken. That jinx is finally broken. Arsenal are champions again. Of course, this follows the Man City game they played yesterday, and that saw them draw. This just took Arsenal to the champions position, and well, there's been a lot of celebrations The details of this are contained on page 8, although I am certain you're already aware of this particular story. Dangote, our refinery listing will democratize Africa's industrial prosperity. Alrighty, let's leave that paper. The Punch paper reports around the APC primaries. Governorship aspirants shun consensus deal in 10 states. Over 30 governorship aspirants set for primaries in 10 states. Plateau aspirant denies stepping down for Muftwang. Oberewori, Yusuf Mba, 8 other governors emerge as consensus candidates. Abdul Razak names Seriki as successor. Danladi steps down as 12 others brace for primary. Alrighty, away from that APC primaries now, federal government misses Q1 tax target by 2.2 trillion naira is also a report you get on the Punch paper. OT Abure truce crumbles amid LP crisis is also contained in the Punch paper this morning. Aspirants fault APC senatorial primaries in Ekiti and others, and faulty Southwest local governments under terror threat, says Gani Adams. Dangote unveils plan for multi-billion-dollar Olokola seaport. Well, that's the much we could take on the Punch paper, and pretty much all of the papers this morning. So, the curtain falls here. My name is Henry Ahamuefula. Good morning. I take the other one.